We're going to talk about how to handle irate customers. You know, I started in the customer service business in 1979, wrote the first customer service training program ever released. And when we did our field testing and design work in 1979, the employees said, how are we going to handle irate customers? It was the number one thing that they were looking for. And this is, I mean, years and years and years ago. So in this process, we're going to give you some ideas that you can use on how to handle irate customers, how to handle difficult situations. To survive organizations, you got to eliminate excess baggage. We got to abandon some bureaucratic practices. We got to think about how can we be a little bit more customer driven. We either accelerate or we die in today's marketplace. And if we're going to teach us how to be more customer driven, how to handle these irate customers in difficult situations, we have to work on our own mind. We have to remove some of our self-imposed limitations. If you don't control what you think about yourself, somebody else will, and they may not have your best interests at heart. Keep in mind as one's attitude, not aptitude, is the chief determinant of success. Once you have faced your biggest adversaries, especially those residing within you, nothing else can defeat you. You will own your own destiny, and that's why it's important to learn how to handle some irate customers. And in this process, we have to use self-talks. And when we do a great job, we need to program ourselves to say, John, you did great with Mrs. Smith. John, you did great with Sam. You're doing a nice job with Claire. They have to be positive, and they have to reinforce the behavior we're trying to accomplish. See, successful people see themselves from their high points in life. You succeed or fail by the image you have in your own mind. To activate yourself, you must really expect to succeed. And in this process of handling irate customers in difficult situations, the foundation of it is that we need to be able to admit mistakes. And if you're able to do that, you'll mark yourself as an uncommon person. We need to work on our self-image so that we're able to handle these dissatisfied customers. Keep in mind, only a tiny, tiny little fraction of people will ever tell you when there's a problem. Research shows about 4%. Every time you got one complaint, 26 people didn't say a thing. Let's give you 4 steps on how to diffuse a difficult situation. And let's just say that you're at a bank. I'm going to use a relationship here. And you're standing in line, and you're the cashier, and you're watching this guy, and he's watching his watch all the time, and you can just tell the guy is really angry. Or you had a shipment that was supposed to have gone out, and the guy is calling you, and the shipment didn't go out as promised, and you know you are in deep, deep, deep trouble. Okay? Let's use the latter one for how to diffuse that difficult situation. You smile. Number 1, you give the customer a sincere, warm hello. Sean, how are you today? I appreciate your calling. And then secondly, you apologize. You assume responsibility. Take the blame for the customer situation. Empathize with them for their problem on behalf of your organization. Sean, I understand we were to have shipped the product to you on Tuesday. It's now Thursday morning. I just found out it had not been shipped, and it is totally our responsibility. I apologize. Think of what I just said. It's totally our responsibility. I apologize. I didn't say, by the way, it's Susie's fault. She's out in shipping, or it's the controller. I didn't put the blame on other people. And then you anticipate the customer's complaint and head it off with a sincere, concerned comment. You take the offensive with kindness. Sean, we've been doing business now for 14 months. You're probably one of the most important customers that we have. I apologize. I'm sure you're upset. I'm sure you're angry, and we deserve the hit for that. But I'm going to personally make sure the product gets shipped today, which is taking action and solving the problem promptly. If you would do this, this will work about 90% of the time. So the objective is to use those 4 skills before the guy blows up and starts screaming at you on the phone. That way your job is a little bit easier during the course of the day. Now let's just use another situation. The person has exploded. The person is maybe on the phone. It could be in person. Really doesn't make any difference. So here's 6 keys to cooling down an irate customer. Because visualize yourself. You get to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. At 8:05, somebody is there or on the phone screaming, hollering at you. And you are supposed to be funding the balance of the day. So here are 6 skills that absolutely work. 1, listen carefully and with interest. I understand. If you've been on the phone where somebody says, "Are you still there?" So you got to tune in. I understand. They know you're paying attention. Then you empathize. You put yourself into the customer's place. Use comments that are genuine, specific. Susie, you've been doing business with us for 2 years now. Your order is extremely important to us. We've worked with you and your staff. We really value business. Emphasize. Let them know that you really care. Then you ask questions in a mature, non-threatening way that requires the customer to think about their answers. So Susie is screaming at you. She's really, really upset. By the way, you can use this on your spouse. You could even use it on your boss. So you start asking questions that force Susie to think. It pulls her out of the emotional state. And then you repeat back to the customer your understanding of their problem. Then suggest 1 or 2 alternatives to their concerns. So, Susie, I understand you're in deep trouble because the shift is going to close down because you don't have the product there in time. And it's obviously our fault. You apologize without blaming. Susie, it's 100% our error. I really apologize. And then you got to solve the problem. Susie, I am personally going to drive enough product over to your office today so that you have enough to finish your shift for the balance of the day. Identify solutions, satisfy the customer needs or find someone who can. If you do that, this stuff works 80-90% of the time. So instead of your day getting ruined, visualize how you got the customer eating out of the palm of your hand. An irate customer that is normally everybody is running from as fast as you can. You see, the amount of the reward is roughly proportional to the amount of risk involved, and most people allow their fears to dominate their decisions, and in so doing so limit the size of their potential rewards. And you're going to find most employees say, "Hold it, let me have you talk to my boss." So the next time you see a difficult situation, you see an irate customer, I challenge you to be the one that grabs it, handles it, and becomes the expert in your organization. You see, a winner never quits. There are no reasons that you cannot succeed. There are only handicaps, and success might be delayed, but it will never be canceled. So I challenge you to compare yourself with yourself instead of with others. Abolish some of those self-imposed limitations. See yourself as you want to be, not as you are today. Thank you.